Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back early to Cornerstone Cyclone's volleyball action. Today has been a day of audibles, random things that have kind of come out of nowhere. One of those is our schedule and the games that we're playing, because things have changed many times and rapidly, but that's all right. That is certainly not a complaint. But just to give you a quick update, we are joining live here way earlier than we expected, and the reason for that is because in Pool B, the other pool of the tournament, one of the teams, I believe it was Decatur Eisenhower, did not show. And so that has changed the entire plan here in terms of games and schedules and all that good stuff. So, folks, I'm just going to tell you, I don't even know who we're playing. Don't even know who we're playing. We're going to work on that for you. We're going to get it all figured out. But this is just how you just do it sometimes. You just jump in and you do your best. And so, we're going to have a little different setup here. I set this all up, console and all, in probably 6 minutes. And so I'm going to trust but verify that I have enough good things going on to actually be able to broadcast this and add value to your day by sharing what's going on with our Cyclones. It is 6-3, and our Cyclones are playing another team that is whose jerseys are green, but I still don't even know who they are, if you can believe that. So I'm going to get you updates on all that, but wanted to give you a quick update, and I wish there was a better way to let you know when things change like this, because most folks were probably expecting to log in at 2:30, and so if they're not available till then, well, we'll just do the best we can. That said, Eric Hughes here in Winona, Illinois, which is a suburb of Minonk. Very, very pretty land out here. A lot of farmland. And I've got our camera set up just about the best we can do, just so everybody knows. This is about the best we're going to be able to do. So, do my best to bring you as much information as I can, as quickly as I can, about who we're playing, what the circumstances of that are. But one of the most important things I'm doing right now is adjusting my volume down, first of all, because I realized I was very, very loud in the microphone. Sorry about that. But probably the most important thing that I will do just about all day is make sure that I have a fan running on me, because dang, even in the dead of winter, I will want to have air conditioning. Maddie Berry sets up Mountjoy, who goes over Lizzie, just pops it over, and we're tied up 8-8. Folks, again, thank you for your flexibility. This is certainly different than we would have expected, but grateful for those that can jump on and join us here for Cyclones volleyball, game number 4 of today. And I believe the few moments I talked to Coach as I was just getting set up over here and trying to figure out where to go and what to do and all that good stuff, I had just checked in with Coach Moran, who mentioned to me that again, we had this change, this bit of a snafu with one of the teams in the other pool that didn't show up, and it's kind of just completely wrecked their entire scheduling. But I will say that the upside here is, we have a chance to play potentially for another game this afternoon. So I believe Coach Moran told me this is a bit of a do-or-die scenario. And I'm going to, again, see if I get some more details as I go here. Score's close so far, 10-9 in favor of our Cyclones. Mackenzie Bowl is going to check in. Avery Baca is going to check out. I don't even have the information in front of me in terms of the other teams. All that stuff, all that paperwork is, well, it's within reach, but my sole and primary interest was getting back online so you find people knew what was going on. And so this is showbiz, folks. You just got to jump in and do your best. So that's what we're going to do. Wow. See a lot of power up front for number 8 on the green team. Lizzie back to serve. Up front, far side, big kill attempt. Right back to Lizzie. Great dig out, getting it over to Mackenzie Bowles, who just dumps it near side. Cornerstone picks up the point. Near side, just dumps it over. Mountjoy to Lizzie Rogers. Kinzinger just bumps it over. It's coming back near side. Whoa, big hit. Cross court hit. This is headed outside. Good job by Maddie Berry. Just digging that out. Folks, just again, for those that are just jumping on, bit of an audible this afternoon. We were originally supposed to start playing at 2:30, but here we are. All of our games, I think, have started early, except for maybe the first one, which started on time. But give credit to the Fieldcrest crew for, number one, running a tight shop. Their games are all either on time or early, but more importantly, they have quite a challenge here. We have an 8-team tournament for which 7 teams show up. That really does kind of throw a wrench in everything. But I think one of the things that does for us here is that, we don't really get to choose where we set up. I'm kind of back here in the corner again. And you know what they say? No, I'm not going to say that. Putting baby in the corner. There's no baby here. Far side. Boy, number 8 is really getting very good elevation. So we need to be careful on the defense of that. So we know it's not Decatur Eisenhower. We know it's not. Pretty sure Olympia's colors are blue and gray. I don't know if Mr. Kinzinger knows who the heck we're playing, because I literally don't even know that. I think it's a 50-50 between Flanagan Cornell and St. Bede. But I literally had no time to set up to even find out. So this is St. Bede. I just saw that on the jersey just as one of their players was running over to sit down. So this is St. Bede. Cross court, Kinzinger. Bowles, backside. Cornerstone now up 14-12 in set 1 of what would have been a 2:30 game. I see folks jumping on now. So, again, for those just jumping on, I'll probably say it a few times just so everyone knows. But scheduling change in the tournament, one of the teams did not show up, and as a result, now we've got just a different schedule. So when I showed up here to leisurely set up and have a plate of lunch that my family was kind enough to secure for me, I found out that we were 5 minutes from calling captains. So here we are, everybody. We are just going to do our best. St. Bede gets the point and the serve. Back in the back here. Lainey Smith will give her that point. Just kind of bumped it right back over the net on the serve, and their front line just couldn't quite handle that. Now we've got a couple subs in and out. Avery Baca back in for the Cyclones, and Mackenzie Bowles will take a seat. Boy, That was close. That was close, but that was out of bounds. So looks like a pretty close matchup here so far, folks. We've got a 15-14 score. Cornerstone up 1 over St. Bede here in the afternoon set. So everything I told you before about seeding and who was playing for which place, that's all somewhat in flux right now. I'm not exactly sure what that looks like. So what we're going to do, folks, is we're just going to watch and call some volleyball and enjoy it. St. Bede coming up center. Laney Smith sets up Lizzie, who just dumps it back corner, just right inside the line. Good heads-up play by Lizzie on that placement of that. But the most important thing is I see smiles on these girls' faces. I see them enjoying the game, having fun playing. Y'all, there is nothing more important than that, than watching these girls just play together, learn the game, learn teamwork. It's very encouraging. And of course, I don't mind sharing my bias because I have a daughter that plays on the team, but these are just outstanding young ladies. They're just good kids. And so I'm grateful to get to be part of it on this end of things. I hope you are enjoying the broadcasts. And we are missing Dan Kinzinger today. As you can obviously tell, Dan is out in the field wearing a very important hat. He's bringing in his harvest, or at least getting a start on that. So Dan, I hope everything's going well if you're listening out there, and you are obviously the resident expert with all this. So it's definitely a different experience not having a co-pilot here. Really, Dan's the pilot. I'm not even really the co-pilot. I may be I don't know. I don't know what the analogy is, but Dan brings a lot of energy and a lot of excitement to this, and it's really hard to try to make up for that. You really can't. You can't invent that kind of enthusiasm, and so you're going to get the poor man's Dan Kinzinger this afternoon, and that's all right. Several substitutions. Audrey Young coming out, Maddie Fisher coming out, Mountjoy, and I believe Kinzinger came in. Mountjoy to serve. It's 17-16, 1 point favor for your Cyclones playing St. Bede. Middle. Big hit from number 13. Straight down. And I've seen that on a couple of occasions here, folks. Their front line has some really tall, powerful hitters, and they are not afraid to make use of them. And so we have a tie game here, which has been a good matchup so far to watch. Rogers to Mountjoy, back to Rogers. And they're going to call that a block and then a bump. Mountjoy over to Kinzinger, dumps it, middle of the road. They're going to send that one out into the bleachers, and we'll pick up another point. So 7 more points gets us where we need to be, folks. 18-17 Cyclones. I recognize the view leaves a little bit to be desired, everybody. I recognize that and appreciate everybody being flexible. I don't know what Dan Kinzinger's record is for setup on a small set like this. I think it was maybe 8 minutes for me to get all this unloaded. We are not even running what we normally do. I got a console and a laptop and a little webcam. I don't even have half of what we normally even bring on the road. And if you guys know what we do when we're home, we do it right. Dan's got multiple camera angles and all kinds of goodness. But here we're just going to do our best. Libero sets it middle. Far side. Big hit from the middle again. So I can tell here just from the first few plays that what Cornerstone's going to need to do is up their blocking game in the middle, because these front hitters for St. Bede are on a mission. And so far they've been effective. St. Bede to serve. Down 1. Cornerstone lets it go wisely, out of bounds. 2 point lead now. Laney Smith back to serve. That's her all the way over there, I promise you. I know it probably is hard to see, but that is her. Laney, deep serve. Coming back to the middle. Middle setter. Back to Laney again. Mountjoy setting up Bowles. Bowles, big cross-court hit. Dug out near the net. Josie Tried to get a hand on it, just snuck. It's really not sneaked, it's snuck. Is it snuck or is it sneaked? It made its way sneakily across the net. Bowles to Mountjoy, to Rogers. Rogers to their libero. Far side, big kill attempt again by number 6. My goodness. This team is certainly adept at their frontline kills. So we are tied again, folks. Set number 1. So we're already almost at the end of our first set of our 4th game. I can't believe how fast it's gone. Barely 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Mountjoy. Bowles. Back to the libero. Sets far side. Little dunk. Yeah, good play on their far side. Just kind of bumped it. Just dunked it right over top of our blockers. Now the lead has shifted. St. Bede now with a 1-point lead. It would be my luck to find out that it's actually something like St. Bede or St. Bede or something I'm not saying right. But listen, when you get the poor man's Dan Kinzinger, you just get what you get. Bowles and Josie kind of tag team now, and center just second in a row where they just kind of dump that ball over the top of our blockers. It's not always pretty, but it's effective. And now it's a 2-point lead for St. Bede. Cornerstone 1 for 7 on sets so far. Kinzinger deep. They're going to set up the far side again. Libero from the back row just takes it over. Lizzie sets up Mountjoy, who sets up Bowles. And they're going to call that out. It's good play from our Cyclones. St. Bede just seems to have a lot of momentum already since we've actually caught up to what's actually happening in real time here. Josie Zellers just dumps it. Far side set again. Big hit. Dug out by Lizzie. Well, and you know, we had the same issue over in Minot. Now, here, because we're a little broader angle, you can actually see they have these steel beams up here, these rafter beams that just seem to get in the way of some of our sets. Big hit by Kinzinger coming over. Libero sets him up. They just have to dump it over. Lizzie sets up Mountjoy. Bowles, near side, just a little far. And folks, just like that, we are now down 1 set to St. Bede. Now that set's over and I have a minute, I'm going to just mute out long enough to see if I can look up some information on our rivals, catch my breath, maybe find some water. I'll try to be back with you guys here in hopefully just about a minute or two as we get geared up for set number 2. Please stay with us as we bring you more Cornerstone Volleyball. All right, everybody. Coming back to live action, and I did want to provide a quick update. If you might have noticed, or maybe not, because again, the maybe hard to see from this vantage point, but someone important is missing from our lineup. That's Leah Huffman, and I wanted to check on her in between sets just to make sure all was well. We know she's had a little bit of a injury to the knee, and good news, folks. No concerns there, no injury, nothing going on there. She wasn't benched. She didn't get mad and walk out. She just had another commitment. She had something else she had to go do today. Maybe it was a family thing. I didn't get details, but the good news is if you see her missing from the lineup, it's thankfully not any sort of a update on the injury. So it sounds like she just had some other stuff she had to get to. So just want to give that update. Some folks are asking about it. Back to live action. Near side, St. Bede. Big block by Ava Hughes. They're going to reset. They're going to take it over far side. Little dump over the net. And number 6, good idea, just went out of bounds. And so that would be our first point of set number 2. Mackenzie Bowles back to serve for the Cyclones. Libero sets it front. Far side. Big swing again. Net Monster was their friend on that one, but I tell you what, I hope, folks, even though this isn't the best angle, I hope you can get a good idea of the competition, because it's really impressive what they're doing up front. I think our girls just need to adjust and just kind of figure out how to defend, maybe time their jumps a little bit better so we can knock out a few blocks here. Good dig out by Lainey Smith to set up that hit that just went a little too far outside. Or did it? That's my fault. I thought he had called that out of bounds. He did not, so that's a side out to the Cyclones. Riley's going to check out. Evie Courtney's going to check in on the far side for Cyclones. Maddie Berry back to serve. Set up front. Just a dump over again. Audrey Young. Audrey Young she was able to dig that out and get out of the way, but that was kind of a boxcar thing. Avery was behind her trying to get in front, just could not quite get around. So unfortunately, that's going to be a side out back to St. Bede. If I can do so without losing my complete focus on anything, I'll see if I can look up some information on St. Bede for you, in case you, like me, don't know anything about them. But for now, Lizzie with a great attempt just to get that ball backside. And that will bring our score to 3-2. St. Bede now set to serve. I don't think Coach was thrilled with that. All right, more subs here, coming in and out. Kinzinger for Young. Mountjoy for Cording. Riley Mountjoy with the serve. Goes deep. Libero bumps it forward. Center. Big block up front by Lainey Smith, again delivering on the defensive front. Really nice job. Well, we're going to have another just kind of dump and run there on that far side. And one more time, it hits the ceiling. Blocked at the net. We're going to have to regroup. Maddie Berry just dumps it near side. Libero comes over to set up. The far side hitter just shoves it over. Ibaka trying to get it back. Well, Berry had a good idea there. Had a good idea. I think so far that's what we've seen. It's just a lot of good ideas that we just didn't quite execute on. And, you know, if you're like me, if you're into your 4th game of volleyball, well, you're not. Because I don't think I could play 4 games of volleyball in one day without having to consult with a physician first. But these ladies are doing a great job of keeping up and just keeping at it. And, again, as I mentioned before, really like to see their composure, giving each other good encouragement. Every new play is a new opportunity. St. Bede serves, just barely snuck over the net. That was a really tricky looking serve. That looked like it was hit way harder than it was. And they've doubled up 6-3 in favor of St. Bede. If I had anybody here to sit with me and jump on a headset, maybe we could do a little bit of trivia about St. Bede, because I sure don't know much about them. But we'll see if we can get some more information for you. Boy, my goodness. That's who I'd be giving the ball to, right up front. I don't have rosters. I apologize. But number 5, just a monster hit. Monster hit up front for St. Bede. And it's 7-3. Lainey Smith just grabs it on the serve. And I'm looking over at Coach, who is, yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. You know, you really ideally want to let that one fall through to the back line. But I think Lainey's thought was, well, what if no one's there? And what if it's going to drop too soon? And now it's 8-3. Mountjoy over to Lizzie Rogers. Lainey able to bump that back over. Libero sets up near side. Into the net, and we needed that one. You know, St. Bede. St. Bede is in Peru, Illinois. I'm guessing some people online may know that, but I don't, so I'm going to share information with you anyway. Number 8 with a solid kill on the far side. 9-4 now in set number 2 in favor of St. Bede. I don't even know yet what their mascot is. We'll get there. We'll figure it out, folks. We'll figure it out. Big kill attempt. Up front. Game just not going where we'd like it to. Just yet. There is still plenty of time. 4-10. Bowles cross court. Their libero handles that well. Sets it near side. Big kill attempt. Lizzie picks that up. Over to Mountjoy, who goes over to Kinzinger. And just bumped over. Great dig by Maddie Berry. Just a one shot back over the net. Libero bumps it over. That's close. It's close. Laney once again got a hand on it. Just kind of sent it sending up parallel there to the net. So lot of trouble here getting organized. All right, that one's out. Good decision making there. Saw Maddie just kind of at the last second shrug back, say, nope, I'm going to let that one fall. Maybe Hughes back in the game. Barry sits down just for a minute. Maddie Barry's worked really hard today. Of course, all the girls have worked very hard today, but Maddie is just a workhorse back there. Really just can't say enough good things about her efforts. She sets a really good example for the other girls, and of course, we know they all work hard. They all work hard. We could probably fit several names into that same category. We talk about Leah being a workhorse, and Lizzie, and all the girls have their spot in that. Kinzinger just had a little trouble with that serve. Just came off her hand a little strange. You could see she just had a look like, God darn it. Really wish I had that one back. Now 13-5 in favor of St. Bede. Mountjoy over to Lizzie. Lizzie just dumps it. Little net monster action there. Far side. Great dig by Lainey Smith. Well, and once again, we find ourselves at the net trying to figure out what to do with that ball. 14-5, St. Bede. Now 15-5. Just not a lot going our way right now, folks, just to be perfectly honest with you. Need to get this tide turned, get a side out so we can regroup. Dug out by Lizzie. Kinzinger, good job to set up. Nope, I did it again. It's probably the third time I've done that, folks. Mountjoy did a really great job getting that ball leveled out to give Kinzinger shot at it. Now 16-5. Strong serve. Lizzie digs it out from the back. Mountjoy puts it up for Hughes, who just dumps it near side. And we had a little bit of pinball going on there. 4 hits in a very short order. And finally, after a pretty sizable run, we see side out. Allie takes a quick seat. Courting jumps in. And Audrey Young back to serve. I hope Audrey, if she hears this, does not take offense for me being silly about her shoes. I actually think they're really cool shoes. But I mentioned on the baseball field, I saw her parents and said, "Hey, please tell Audrey I wasn't making fun. They're just incredibly pink shoes." And Matthew said, "No, you're good. You're good." She has a pretty good spirit about her about that stuff. But yeah, Audrey, you can come. Audrey, come and shake your fist at me. I do not mean to offend, but it's much easier to see who you are on the court now. Before, I was actually first few games of the season, I'm just learning how to do this, and I'm not trying to say that Mackenzie or Riley or Audrey look alike, but from a distance, they all have the same bow and they have their hair, and it gets tough. They're moving around the court, things move fast, and I think a few times I was calling Mackenzie Audrey and Audrey Mackenzie and Riley Mackenzie, and so Audrey got new bright pink shoes, and I thought, well, hey, that helps out. It's one less that I have to guess on. Well, no shade to St. Bede, but their athletic website does lack some detail. For instance, I literally still don't know what their mascot is. I just see St. Bede, St. Bede, St. Bede. And so we're just going to let that one go for now and give ourselves permission to not be worried that we don't really know who we're playing against. Service error comes back to Cornerstone. Looks like Mackenzie Bull is going to run back for the serve. Middle set, far side, just a tip over the net. Lizzie does a great job to get there. And Kinzinger just, again, great individual effort on both those ladies' parts just to try to dig that out. Just could not get there. And quickly, it is 19-8 in favor of St. Bede. Courting. He's just going to dump it. That's going to give him some trouble there. All right, good play by Evie just to put that ball in play. St. Bede's got a interesting little habit here. They'll stand up for their teammates as they run off the court, which necessarily impedes our view, but that's all right. Maddie Berry to serve. Nice serve. Sets up front. Far side. Big swing. Once again, very difficult to handle by our Cyclones, and it's now 20-9. Right. Lainey Smith gonna head out, and Josie Zellers checks in. St. Bede to serve. Lizzie to Mountjoy. Nope. To Kinzinger. Now this is gonna be trouble. Boy, they're still hacking away at it. Volleyball ends up in the upper bowl. Good effort by St. Bede. Try to keep that in play. We have cut the lead in half, but unfortunately that's a lead of 20-10. So a long journey to get us back into this game. St. Bede, far side, just once again just dumps it over. And we've seen that same play several times. I like to see how St. Bede is setting up their hitters. If you notice how their sets are going, they pop it up with a fair amount of height. and arc that volleyball, which, it gives the offense, tips them off so we can get set up for the block, but at the same time, it gives their hitters options, right? So, what we see quite often is we'll see them try to just clobber it like they haven't. And again, they're getting really good elevation on the ball, so that's gone really well for them. But on the flip side, they're still able to kind of have those finesse plays like we just saw, where they can just kind of tap it over our blockers' fingers, and it makes it really hard for our back row to get up and make a play on that. So a lot of credit to St. Bede for how they're playing right now. And they'll serve with a 21-10 lead. Net monster. Lizzie still got a hand on it. Mountjoy sends it over. Kinzinger trying to get it over. Lizzie going back to Kinzinger. Just bumped over. Set to the center, far side. Just another bump. Great job by Zellers. Josie finally said, "Nope, you're not. Fool me once, fool me twice. But not a third." We're not going to let you do that a third time. So good heads-up play. I'll once again say it at the last game, but I think it bears repeating. I know this has so far been a little bit of a rough game for us, but I'll tell you what, Josie, can't say enough good things about her play the past few games, right? Again, multiple kills, multiple blocks. She is contributing on both sides of the offensive-defensive paradigm for the Cyclones, and we need that. Lizzie serves. Coming up to the net. Little dump over. Kinzinger sets up Mountjoy. Kinzinger back, just bumps it over. Near side, set up. That goes long. 21-12. So you also see or sense or feel that there is a little bit of difference with Leah being out, but that's necessary. That's all right. Life happens to all of us. Lizzie back to serve. Good short serve. So they're at the net. Good dump over. Good reaction by Mackenzie Bowles. Get that set up. We're back at the net, far side. Just going to bump it over. Bowles sets up Mountjoy. Little one-hand bump over by Kinzinger. Heads up play there. Another dump. Mountjoy picks that up. Rogers just puts it in a tough spot. Tough spot there. Good idea. Like the ball moving on the court. And St. Bede serves it up. Mountjoy, far side. Great job by Kinzinger just to get enough on that to power past their blocker hands. I have some tall young ladies over there on that far side, and Kinzinger, like the Laney Smiths, like the Abria Bacas, they're not super tall, but they can elevate. And that was good work by Kinzinger just to get over there and get up in the air there. This is going to be short. That's a great serve by Smith. Okay, they're going to call that 4 hits. So we'll take that. 22-14. We still have some lifeblood, folks. Smith back to serve again. Let's see if we can keep serve here for, maybe another, 11 points. Would be great. Deep serve going back. Libero's got to dive for this one. It's headed out. Good effort by St. Bede, but nothing doing. Cyclones now can close into a third set with 7 points. Not 7 points, 10 points. Math is hard, y'all. Laney Smith. Nice serve over to the far side there. This is giving them trouble. They're just going to have to bump it over. Our ladies are at the net, and they're going to get us in the net. That's a tough call. It's a really tough call. I do not envy the job of volleyball officials. Now that I've been in this world here the past few games and kind of learning how this all works, I do not envy the job of a volleyball official, because these are really nuanced rules about the net and about, two-hand strikes, things like that. Mountjoy over to Lizzie. She's just got to bump it back over. Set up in the middle. Miss-hit, but it still works. You notice their middle blocker kind of put her hand over her face like, well, shoot. Sorry, guys. But you know what? Point still scores, young lady. Now it is set point and match point for St. Bede. Up in the air. This is Mountjoy to Bowles. Just bumps it over. Gets by their blockers. They're going to dump it over. Mountjoy to Lizzie Rogers. Coming over. Allie just dumps it back. Libero sets it up. Far side. Oh, great job by Bowles to get back to the ball. Lizzie, boy, we're scrambling, but the ball's still in the air. And another fateful encounter with the rafters. And folks, that is going to end it just like that. I was going to tell you it was game 4, which it is the 4th game of the afternoon. What I don't know, folks, is what that means for us. For those that are tuning in, I know that this has been a schedule change. And once again, thank you. As always, thank you for joining and for being part of this and for listening in and supporting Cyclone's volleyball. What I'm going to do, folks, is if those that are online want to hang out for a minute, I'm going to walk over and see if I can catch Coach and just maybe ask a little bit more about what's next, whether our day is over, what this means for the schedule, because it has changed with the Decatur MacArthur no-show on the other bracket. So I'm going to put a little bit of music on, and for those that want to hang out for a minute, I will try to get back with you within the next maybe 5 or 10 minutes and try to give you an update on whether we're playing again or not, and we'll be back with you guys. So for now, just stick with us, and we'll be back here just a quick minute. Thanks very much. Okay. Hey, I see a few people still hanging out, so... Oops, sorry, this is a little hot. So I will just give you a quick update, and then we are going to wrap up because Cornerstone's day is done. What I can report to you is for an 8-team tournament, there were only 7 teams. And so with Decatur Eisenhower being a no-show, they kind of effectively forfeit, which means that there's no reason for Cornerstone to play for 7th place. We just automatically achieve 7th place in the tournament. What you see in front of you is St. Bede and Delavan. They are now playing for 5th place. So Delavan and St. Bede will be the 5th and 6th place finishers respectively. Cornerstone ends 7th. Over across the way, the other 4 teams are still vying for 1st through 4th. And I checked, but I could not get an update from anyone on precisely where that was at. So you've got Fieldcrest and Clinton and Olympia. And I apologize. I have one more that it's escaping me, but Flanagan. So those teams are vying right now for 1st through 4th place, and they're going to carry into the late afternoon, early evening. But that's going to wrap it up for Cornerstone and our day here at the Fieldcrest tourney. And so just a couple quick comments because I think everyone's probably ready to be done. But I'll just mention first, I'm grateful for the girls and their just continued efforts. This is tough. You come into a tournament like this, and it's tough to dig out a win. I hope the girls hang their heads high, and here's why. Because we maybe had our moments like every team is going to have, but I felt as if, generally speaking, we competed and kept our heads up. The girls were, again, working hard. Every new point was a new opportunity. Didn't really see anyone get super down. I think Coach, was just working to set the right expectation, the right tone with them. And at the end of the day, folks, they just played some really tough competition today. It's a formidable tournament. And so with that, Cornerstone's day comes to an end. They came out 0-4 today in their play. And so I will not give you their updated record because to be honest with you, I'm just kind of disheveled and I don't really know if I remember. 2 wins and I think it's 12-14 losses. I will get back to you on that the next time we play, and I'll have more information for you on all that. But Cornerstone again had a great day competing. Did not get the outcomes necessarily that we wanted, but we certainly did do our best to compete. Just a quick update for those that were wondering. I think I had a couple of people join in late. Leah, no issues with Leah. I think a couple of people were wondering if she maybe had an injury. She didn't play the last game. I did find out that she is just fine. She just had another commitment. So just wanted to reiterate that one more time because I think folks were maybe a little concerned. But all good on that front. So we will wrap it up here in the suburb of Winona, where they've been very kind. I would like to also state that just in closing that Fieldcrest folks have been nothing but kind, very accommodating to us as we got here and just set up and tried to do our thing. So again, very, very grateful for all the help that they provided us. But that's going to do it, folks. I'm going to wrap up, log out, pack up, and get myself home. So want to thank, lastly, Sean Bowles for jumping on and being a good partner and grabbing a headphone. Really a pleasure getting to talk with him today. Cyclone Volleyball. We'll be back next week, and we'll look forward to speaking with you then when we're back on the court. Until then, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Godspeed, and we will talk soon. Thanks so much, everybody. Take care.